When the Associated Press revealed its women's college basketball all-time starting five, the announcement was supposed to be a celebration, an homage to legends who defined eras and redefined greatness. Yet, as soon as Caitlin Clark's name appeared alongside icons like Diana Taurasi, Cheryl Miller, Maya Moore, and Brittany Griner, the internet ignited with a debate so fierce it made a typical WNBA Twitter argument look like a book club discussion. Her overall game was lacking, one fan posted, setting off a storm. Sure, she could shoot from the logo, but can we stop pretending she was an all-around player like Maya Moore or Cheryl Miller? Others quickly countered. She broke every record there was. How can you leave off the greatest scorer in NCAA history? Within hours, social media threads turned into digital battlegrounds. Former players, analysts, and even a few current WNBA stars chimed in, each staking a claim in the debate over whether Caitlin Clark truly belonged among the all-time greats, or if the media's infatuation with her star power clouded objective judgment. The vote that sparked fire. The AP's list wasn't random. It came after months of polling coaches, historians, and journalists. Clark's inclusion was statistically justifiable. 3,951 career points, the most in NCAA basketball history, men's or women's. Numerous triple-doubles, record-breaking assist numbers, and an endless reel of viral highlights. A college career that single-handedly turned women's basketball into must-see TV. But for critics, those accomplishments weren't enough. Stats don't tell the full story, one analyst argued on a WNBA podcast. She played in an era that favored pace and perimeter play. You put her in Cheryl Miller's USC days, and she's getting bullied out of the paint. Supporters fired back immediately. You can't punish someone for being a product of evolution. The game changed, and she changed it more than anyone else. A star's shadow in the WNBA. Part of the venom stemmed not from her college legacy, but from her ongoing WNBA journey. After an up-and-down rookie season with the Indiana Fever, Clark's dominance had been tempered by the realities of professional play. Tighter defenses, more physicality, and veterans determined to humble her. She's not even the best guard in the WNBA right now, one fan tweeted. How can she be in the all-time college lineup when her game didn't fully translate? Others reminded critics that the list was about college careers, not pro success. People forget that college Caitlin Clark was generational, a former coach wrote. She turned every game into a national event. The pressure, the noise, she handled it all while rewriting the record books. Still, resentment lingered. Some WNBA players had grown tired of seeing Clark dominate headlines. One anonymous player was quoted saying, "It's always about her. You'd think no one played women's basketball before 2021. Legacy versus longevity." What made this debate uniquely emotional was that it wasn't just about talent. It was about legacy, exposure, and perception. For older fans, Clark represented the new wave of fame-driven recognition, where viral clips often outshined complete dominance. "Look, she was electric," said one fan who grew up watching the UConn dynasty. But Maya Moore was perfect. She won everything. Championships. Awards. Defense. Leadership. Clark didn't even win a national title. That last point hit hard for many. Clark's Iowa teams reached the Final Four and the national title game twice, but fell short each time. For purists, that missing championship was the crack in her otherwise golden resume. Yet, Clark's defenders countered that championships are team achievements. "Basketball isn't tennis," one comment read. You can't fault her because her front court couldn't handle South Carolina. She did everything humanly possible. The cultural effect. While basketball fans argued over stats and rings, others pointed to something less tangible: impact. Caitlin Clark wasn't just a scorer. She was a phenomenon. Her game sold out arenas. Networks broke viewership records. Girls across the country started practicing logo threes. Nike's record-breaking endorsement deal with her didn't just represent her brand. It represented an entire shift in how women's basketball was marketed. Every generation has its icon, sports historian Danielle Watts explained. Miller inspired the pioneers, Taurasi inspired the competitors, Moore inspired the winners. Clark inspired the dreamers. That, for many, was her real claim to the all-time starting five. Kathy Engelbert's balancing act. Even WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert found herself navigating the fallout. "It's a good problem to have," she said in a recent interview. "When fans are this passionate, it means women's basketball is thriving." Behind closed doors, though, league insiders hinted at frustration. Engelbert had worked tirelessly to make the league about all its stars: Aya Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, but Clark's shadow loomed large. "She's the headline every day," one marketing executive admitted. When an all-time college list drops and it's still about her, it's a reminder of how much the game's identity has shifted. The debate becomes a mirror. By the end of the week, what began as a list had evolved into something deeper, a reflection of what fans truly value in greatness. Was it stats? Championships? Cultural impact? Caitlin Clark had, unintentionally, become the embodiment of that question. Her critics argued she was a symbol of the sport's TikTok era. Brilliant, marketable, but incomplete. Her supporters saw her as a trailblazer, someone who didn't just play the game but transformed it. Both sides had truth. Clark's own response. When reporters finally asked Clark about the controversy, she gave the calm, confident grin that had become her trademark. "I'm honored," she said simply. "Those women inspired me. If I can inspire the next ones, that's all that matters." No defensiveness. No boast. Just perspective. Her words didn't end the argument, but they softened it. For a moment, fans remembered that the reason they cared enough to argue at all was because she made them feel something about the game. A legacy still being written. In the end, the AP's list might not have settled anything. For some, Clark will always be a deserving member of the all-time five, a shooting comet who forever changed women's basketball. For others, she'll remain a gifted player who hasn't yet proven herself in the WNBA the way her predecessors did. But perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Greatness isn't just about balance. It's about impact, and Clark's influence stretches far beyond her stat sheet. Whether adored or criticized, she continues to force fans to talk, to feel, to argue, to care.